Okay, you guys, here I am in my humble abode. I got my earbuds, what are these damn things called? Headphones on today. Ooh, cover it up. But I just want to take this time to do a little video. Not sure if this is going to be quick, but it's a little story time in here. And don't do this. Don't do what I do. I'm a little insane, but it's all working out some sort of way. So, yeah. Um, so let's get started. So, the title of this is going to be basically the real way to get things in life, I guess, in my experience. So, mainly there are two ways. There's a way like you keep grinding, you keep going until you get it. And the other way is to keep grinding and keep going till you get it. And then if you don't get it, take some time off and just like, I don't care anymore. So those are the two ways. The one way you keep going until you get it is like my go-to for you guys. And this is the reason. So I got my little notepad here so I don't forget anything. But okay, so first example, have you ever washed or dried your clothes and you go to the dryer and you getting everything out of there, but you see one article of clothing, maybe like a sock that's at the bottom. So you stick your little arm down there. You're like, I know I can get it. You know you can get it because you can see it, right? So you're looking down and you're stretching, 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 and you're like, I can get it. And you feel like the side of the dryer, the curve of it kind of hits your armpit in that kind of painful way, but you don't care because you know you can reach down. If I reach down far enough, I can get it. I can get it because you can see it. And you know that you're going to get it. It's just a little sock at the bottom of the dryer. You can get that. You know you can get it. And eventually you do. Your arm reaches, and you know, sometimes maybe you gotta get a little hanger and finagle it. Maybe if it dropped down somewhere that's not the dryer, maybe like a little cubby section or a little area of the side of the house, or you're trying to retrieve something that fell, you start to think of ways to get it. Like you grab a hanger, you finagle it some sort of way, like the metal wire when you turn into a fishing lure and you get it out and you're like, ha ha, you know that feeling where you're figuring it out. You're just in the zone. You're just in the zone. You don't care about anything except getting that thing. And it's crazy because why are you doing this much for a freaking thing? A little piece of trinket or a little sock that's at the bottom of a dryer. It seems insane, but I want you to remember just a feeling of being in that zone of trying to figure out how to get it. And then between that and you almost get it, you might drop it a couple times. But you're like, I'm determined. You're determined to get the sock at the bottom of the dryer. And you're like, and then you get it on that hook and then you pull it out with no problems. And bam, you got it. That feeling of success and excitement, that's better than anything on earth. So what I'm saying is that's that's it. That's the solution. And you can apply that to anything, not just a sock in a dryer. Apply it to any dang thing, and you can get it. So, going into the story time, um, I am a great connoisseur of books, the romantic kind, when I have some time to spare for it. So, a couple years back, maybe not even a couple, might have been a year, I had a binge at the public library in White Marsh Mall. That's across from there. And I decided to just get a bunch of love books and just enjoy myself, you know. So there was a wonderful author, and I couldn't remember her name. I was looking for the book recently and for the past couple of months because I was like, I really want to read that book, but I can't remember the author. I can't remember the title. I barely kind of vaguely remember something about it, about the whole situation, the summary, the plot of it maybe that was going on, you know, like when you're trying to look for a song you can't remember the name of, or a movie you can't remember who played in it, or like a book you can't remember the title or anything really about it except maybe a tiny scenario that was going on between the characters. And I'm trying to figure out the book, and I'm trying to, and I don't know, one time after work I'm driving back recently, I think this is a couple days ago, recently I'm driving and I'm like, I know I can find that book. I know I can because I had it in my hands physically. I felt the pages. I felt the paper. I had the binding. I was reading the words. I could smell that book smell from a Nook Pratt Free Library. I could smell it. I had it. So I knew I could get it again. And that's the thing, that's the thought. I was searching for this freaking, and don't do what I do. In the middle of traffic, every red light I stopped at. And when you're in this zone, when you're in this focus where you have a singular focus on one thing and nothing else, um, miracles start happening. I call it the land of green lights because green lights just keep coming up. And I'm like, well, I don't want a green light now all the time. I stopped at red lights and I wanted it to be green. And now all of a sudden you get green lights all every light. And I'm like, all I want in the whole wide world at this moment in time is this book. And I knew, I felt that book, not a thought in my mind about the title or nothing like that, but I knew I got that book because I had it before so I can have it again. And every red light I stopped, I searched like a mad person. I think that's the secret. Because while I was doing that, looking up, breaking, looking up, breaking, I felt the energy of I know I have that book. What is it? What's the word? So, and it was like a little whisper of a something in my mind. And I'm like, that's it. That's the name of the book. So all of a sudden, I put two and two together and I found the freaking book, you guys. I found that dang book and I was so freaking happy. That's the only thing, because it was like, and the best part about it was the moment kind of leading up to finding it and then finding it. It was better than gold. It was better than silver and gold. It was better than Bitcoin. It was better than money. It was better than money. That feeling of finally having that book and that feeling of knowing, being on the edge of having it, that was the stuff of life of what you live for. Okay? Like I said, don't do what I do. That was dangerous, but I did make sure I stopped at every red light and made sure I was safe out there, but don't do what I do. But I say that all to say that is how you get it. That is how you get things. You can't be doing this part-time, no nothing. You got dreams and goals. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to section off a little bit, because that's what people tell you to do. Section off and do this and spend a little bit of time. Your life has to work around your goal. Instead of your living your life and you set a section of time for your goal has to be your life. And you set section of block for the other things, is what I'm trying to say. Like when you're in that zone, you can't see nothing else. You don't want nothing else except your goal, which is finding that book, finding that movie, finding that music, that song, finding that thing that you lost down the crack and crevice of your house. That goal. That's how you get things. By having a singular drive, a singular focus. That's the fastest avenue. For people with shiny object syndrome, it's going to be hard for you. And I know, because I'm one of those people, always looking for different, but I'm on the right and narrow path now. So we're going to do it together. But I'm telling you, if you ever want to find something, if you ever want something as quickly as you most possibly can, do it that way. That is like a foolproof never fail. You know, and it may take you some years. One last thing, so I don't want to ramble, but one last thing, there's a movie, another romance movie. Yes, I'm a connoisseur of those things, especially the Pride and the Prejudice era. I love it. But there was a movie called, I can't even remember what it is, but I got it now. You know what? And before 2020, like in 2019, I was in my Pride and the Prejudice era. I was binge watching the mess out of it, watching movie after movie, and they have a whole lot of them on YouTube, free movies. So it's free movies, and I watched it one time, and then a couple months later, I was like, "What's the name of that movie?" I don't know what happened. I removed my history for some reason and it was gone. Several years later, y'all, I found that movie. I don't know what happened, but I had been consistently, ever so often, looking for that movie over the past couple years, searching for it through my history, searching through it on different browsers, Googling it, searching for it like a mad person, like a crazy, insane person. And then when I least expected, it just popped out of nowhere. And I looked at that. You see, because what had happened is my sister had told me about a free movie website called Tubi TV. And I just, you know, signed in, sent my email address, and they gave me access, and it's free. So, just watching other movies and different things. And then, a couple months goes by, and all of a sudden I'm like, what romance movie can I watch? So I'm like, okay, let me watch this, let me watch this. And it's got the suggestions at the bottom. So I was like, oh, let me watch this. And I took a hard, long look at that title. And because it was some kind of fly by night, no Hollywood um, A-rated uh, feature film or anything like that with any big name actor or actresses. Nothing like that. It was some fly by night, D-rated something, but I loved it. So when I took a long look at this thing, I was like, wait a second. Don't tell me that this is what it is. And lo and behold, it was. And I read the summary and I jumped off my bed and yelled like a crazy person. People came running because they thought there was something wrong. I was like, no, I'm in such a disbelief right now. This cannot be happening right now. But it was. And I was like, wow, wow. So, yeah. And that's after 4 years of looking for this thing consistently on and off. So if you want something, it don't matter. It doesn't matter how long it takes. You're going to find it if you consistently looking for it. You got the passion in your heart and soul. I want to wrap it up by saying that, like, just use that formula. That's a never fail. And it's simple. You don't got to really think too hard about it. It's a simple formula. And if you have any questions, ask me in the comments section, and I'll give you more details. And hopefully, you reach your goals on that. If not, keep looking. You'll get there eventually. But to wrap this up, I don't want this to be too long. Like if you like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Love you guys so much. And I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.